Okay, so I've decided I can't live in North America anymore. And there's a lot of reasons for that that are easy to find online. I'm just going to go over two right now. One that became apparent when I was a little kid, when I was very young, and one that's becoming very important right now. And the second one is that pretty soon I'm going to have to start answering questions that my kids ask. Like, Papa, why are those people on the news shooting at each other? And I mean, I could just lie and say what the news says and say, well, these are our guys, and they're the good guys, and those are the bad guys. They're evil, and they need to die, so we need to go and kill them. But that's not the truth. That's not the truth at all. I mean, those other people are people, and we're people, and what's really going on there is that we're occupying these other countries, and they want us to leave. And how am I supposed to explain that? You know, I mean, what it all boils down to is basically we're the bad guys. I don't want to be the bad guys. I don't want to have to tell my kids, yeah, we go over to other countries and we kind of tell them to do what we want. And most countries say, oh, okay, we'll do what you want because we know about the or else, do what you want or else. But then every once in a while, one of the countries says, no, we're not going to do what you want. We'll take the or else. And then we go in there with our guns and our bombs and we start blowing people away. And, I mean, a lot of times it's not even that. A lot of times it's just going in there secretly and installing governments or selling, those people in the news, those bad guys. There's a good chance we gave them those weapons. Anyway, it's a whole giant pile of disgustingness. But what it all boils down to is we're the world's bullies, and I don't want to be the bad guys. I don't want to be the bad guy. Talking to people in the U.S. and even in Canada, I grew up in Canada and I came to the U.S., hopefully finding a little more freedom than was available in Canada, because in Canada you have to get like a permit or a certificate or something to scratch your butt. But anyway, there's a little bit more freedom down in the U.S., but that's being crushed as we speak, really badly. But anyway, the standard thought here is that we're the good guys, and we have to take our goodness and spread it around the world and make everyone else be good. Make them be good. We're spreading democracy. Democracy isn't actually a good thing. I mean, the U.S. isn't even a democracy. It has a Bill of Rights. It's a republic. There are inalienable rights for people that cannot be democratically taken away, except now they're just being wiped out. But maybe it wouldn't have been so easy to destroy this Constitution if right from the beginning they'd made sure those inalienable rights apply to everyone. Can you imagine that? That would have been... I mean, there's no way to prove this, or it's all just speculation, but what if when the United States was created and they made that Constitution and this Bill of Rights and all that stuff, what if they said, these rights are for everybody? Black, white, purple, green, Jewish, Christian, atheist, Muslim, male, female, transvestite, polyamorous, monogamous, polygamous, androgynous, and just everyone. Every human being. It applies to everyone. I mean, slavery wouldn't have been able to come up. And, there's a lot of consequences that came from basically creating a country where there was an implication of freedom for everyone, but there was also an implication that it was for white males, and women were sort of second-class citizens, and anyone who has dark skin or squinty eyes or anything like that, they're all second-class citizens. And the problem with that is that when you imply that it's going to be a free country, but then you also imply that it's not, it gets very wishy-washy, and then something has to change, and it makes the whole thing very easy to chisel away at and kind of take apart, which is what's happened. the Constitution doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, I could be thrown in jail for posting this video online tomorrow, and just thrown in there as a terrorist, because I'm saying bad things. And I mean, it's really frustrating because I feel like we're the terrorists. We're going to all these other countries and installing new governments in them, and it's just manipulating all these, doing terrible, terrible things. And the only reason we can do it is because the U.S. currency was declared the world currency, which meant, everyone was using the U.S. dollar, so the U.S. could kind of do some tricks that maybe people didn't foresee when they decided to make it the worldwide currency. Because then we could just print extra money and say, look how rich we are, and not tell everyone that we've just printed all this extra money and go around buying all this stuff, and then a little time goes by and everyone realizes, wait, inflation's going up. And it's not even keeping up with how fast they're printing it. This is all sort of complicated garbage I don't need to get into. But anyway, bottom line is, I don't want to be the bad guys. I don't want to have to explain to my kids that, every time we buy something, this camera I bought, I probably gave $10 to the U.S. military to buy bullets to shoot people. In part of the taxes on it. It's just really frustrating. And I know, in this country I'm supposed to just kind of ignore that and just live my happy life, like royalty goes around just saying, it doesn't matter, all the paupers, they don't matter, because we're having a good time and I can have all this riches and all this great stuff. But I can't just ignore that kind of stuff, because I know that a lot of people are suffering in a lot of places because of what is happening here. So anyway, I have to get out of here. So I'm leaving the country soon, and I'm turning in my green card, which is kind of difficult to do, actually. Turning in your green card is like almost as hard as getting one. Because they don't want to lose a tax pig, obviously. Well, I did mention another kind of piece of, not evidence, another thing that brought me to this conclusion that I need to move out of North America, which is something that I noticed when I was a little kid, which is that even though we have tons and tons of technology compared to what people had 100 years ago, people still have to work like 40 hours a week just to scrape by. Not everyone, but like a large majority of people are just busting their butts all the time trying to live, and they're just scraping by, even though we have all these new capabilities, all this new technology. So something is wrong with our culture. Something is really messed up, and part of the problem is that things have been militarized to the point where we're destroying stuff and rebuilding it. And the thing is, it only takes like one guy a minute to destroy a skyscraper that took 1,000 people a year to build. So with all this destruction, it's creating a lot of needless work. And it's just waste. We're just creating waste. In this country, we're creating massive amounts of waste. And the reason we can do that is because of the way the money system works, and I don't need to get into that. But if you look at North America in general, we're producers of waste. We're not producing anything. We're not creating anything of value. We are little bits here and there, but overall, we're wasting so much more than we're creating. And at some point, that's just totally not sustainable. And at some point, the dollar's going to crash, and everyone's going to realize, wait a minute, if you look at our culture and kind of remove the dollars, you'll notice that 95% of the people are doing nothing, because all they're doing is shuffling money around, and there's all these jobs that do nothing. There are so few people who actually produce anything of value. Because as life got easier for us because we have all this technology, instead of having time to improve ourselves and do amazing things, somehow we got stuck on this track of just wasting more. wasting our time, wasting our resources and stuff. Anyway, so that's basically why we need to get out of here. And I want to go to a country that is far away and is never in the news. And it's mildly terrifying to just pick up and move. I mean, not as terrifying as it was when, you know, people were leaving Germany and, you know, they're afraid of getting shot, so they left all their stuff and just went. But, I mean, it just kind of, yeah, I have to learn a new language now. That was another thing. I wanted to go to a place that didn't just speak English. I just wanted a completely different culture. Yeah. And so I've done a lot of research, and I've decided to move to South America. We're going to go check it out. And I don't know if I'm making the right decision. You know, all I can do is my best guess and hope it works out. We're going to go down there for a few months and check it out. And a lot of times people have told me things like, wow, Jaimie, it's so cool that you live out in the woods. Because that was my way of getting out of the system while in this country. But, you know, you can only get out so far. But anyway, people would say, wow, that's great that you did all that. I would love to do that, but, you know, I have a family, and it makes it harder, and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's kind of why I'm making this video, because I have a family now. I have 3 human beings that I have to carry, and it's kind of scary going somewhere. I mean, if it was just me, I mean, it'd be a piece of cake. I could just buy a boat and hop in it and sail anywhere, and, you know, if it crashed, I would swim to shore. You know, I mean, it's so easy. It's so much easier to take care of just yourself than it is other people and children. I mean, soon my kids will be like super warriors, but not the kind that fight, just the kind that survive easily. But, you know, right now they're little kids. So, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to do my best, and I'm hoping this works out really well. I'm a little nervous. But I just wanted to put all this out there for anyone else who wants to do the same kind of thing, who's maybe terrified of trying. I mean, I'm terrified of trying, but I'm doing it anyway. Well, I should say, you know, I'm terrified, but I'm also super excited. You know, this is going to be an awesome adventure. We're going on a quest. Tengo hambre. Gracias. Me llamo Jaimie. ¿Cómo te llamas? Hasta la vista,